Hello and good afternoon, everyone. My name is Midra Surratt, Executive Director of Parent Information Center of Delaware, and I have with me today Ms. Teri Lawler, Education Associate in the Trauma-Informed Practices in Social and Emotional Learning, Office of Equity and Innovation Group, Delaware Department of Education. We're here today to talk about an exciting upcoming series for families and caregivers on social and emotional learning, or SEL. Welcome, Teri. Could you tell us a little bit about SEL?
Good afternoon, and thank you for having me. Social and emotional learning is the process through which children and adults understand and manage emotions, set and achieve positive goals, feel and show empathy for others, establish and maintain positive relationships, and make responsible decisions. These are the essential skills and habits that are needed all through life. They begin at birth in those earliest serve and return relationships, and they lay the foundation for how we communicate, build relationships, and get along with others. So we're really excited to be able to share this work with all of our community members, because all of us have an opportunity to not only support young people in building their social and emotional learning, but also in strengthening our own and becoming more resilient as a community.
Thank you. Yeah, and we wanted to share a short video just to introduce everyone to social and emotional learning, in addition to what Teri said, and kind of give you an idea of what will be discussed in the series. So let's take a few moments to listen to this video.
As parents, we know that there is more to raising a child than teaching reading, writing, history, and math. Raising a child means that schools and parents must work together to create safe and supportive environments while helping children to understand themselves, understand others, and make responsible decisions.
It's important for children to see that they have role models that aren't always the ones that they expect to have.
You know that saying that parents are the first teachers, that's very true, because I think that as a school, there's only so much that we can do.
I think parent involvement in school is huge, because I think it's really important when kids feel the partnership that their families have with the school. And so we work to have structures and systems in place that will help kids be able to do those things.
Social and emotional learning, or SEL, is how children and adults understand and manage their emotions, set and achieve positive goals, feel and show empathy for others, establish and maintain positive relationships, and make responsible decisions.
When adults are modeling SEL for students, whether it's parents or teachers or staff members, they're really building relationships with one another, which ultimately impacts how they work with one another as adults.
I think it's really, really important for them to be self-aware. I think being able to identify their emotions and deal with them, it's sometimes really important to be able to stop and reflect.
We're intellectual, emotional creatures. To learn the skills necessary, one has to have both a healthy internal life and external life. And so being self-aware of that is really critical.
First of all, we have to learn how to manage our stress ourselves.
How to deal with stress. In today's society where everything just seems to go 90 miles an hour, you have to just take a time out yourself.
I mean, it's important to be shown to him that there's different ways to deal with stressful situations.
Teach him how to deal with emotions.
Like, did we give them the skills to be able to handle conflict or resolve conflict?
When kids are able to process their own feelings, acknowledge what's going on with others around them, not only for others, but for oneself, right? Forgiveness and what led to this? How might I do this differently?
They have to have a sense of empathy. They have to have respect for other people, other cultures.
I want him to learn how to interact with other kids, how to play, how to cooperate, how to do things together, also have fun.
I think that has been the best thing with my relationship with my daughter, that she's able to communicate well with others, speak her feelings.
That's important because the world around us is all about relationships. Our children need to be able to guide themselves through there so that they can achieve those things that they need to achieve and be able to communicate them effectively.
I'm always thinking about how are we potentially impacting students in a way that will make them think twice? Like, how are we helping them make good decisions?
He's starting to understand that why do one thing instead of another, and how it affects other people. Explaining to him his actions have influence on his quality of life.
I think our children need to be able to be confident enough to articulate what they're feeling and to be able to just showcase their strengths.
Those 5 competencies apply to being successful anywhere. That's the kind of employee I'd like to work with. That's the kind of student that I'd like to have in my classroom. That's the kind of person I'd like to study with after school.
And that helps build a positive climate and environment that sets the tone for learning.
Research shows that SEL can have a positive impact on school climate and promote a host of benefits for students, including better academic performance, improved attitudes about school, fewer negative behaviors like office referrals or drug and alcohol use, and reduced emotional stress.
Every child can reach their full potential and are provided the supports and the resources that they need to reach that potential. My hope would be that families are engaged and feel welcomed at the school and can get the resources that they need through the school.
In order for students to meet their full potential academically, I think that their social and emotional needs need to also be met.
Social emotional learning is something that people can learn and that we can help to teach that. My wish or my hope is that schools see themselves as places of support for kids and families and community.
We are their number one role model. Between modeling and direct engagement in their education and direct engagement with the school and the teachers and participating, the parent's the number one educator from day one.
Those strategies that mom and dad share with them are also the same strategies that schools have shared with them.
As students learn social and emotional skills, it's important that they have opportunities to practice and apply those skills in real-life situations, both at school and at home.
One of the ways that parents can help children at home through the use of social emotional learning is to connect with the school.
Whether it is attending local school meetings, parent-teacher conference, emailing their teachers, I think it's just important in whatever way you feel you want to engage to do so.
Parents can help bring SEL into the home in many ways. Here are 5 examples to consider. For self-awareness, take time to talk about feelings with your child every day by sharing your own feelings and asking your child to name their feelings as well. For self-management, teach and model positive ways of managing stress, disappointment, and anger. For social awareness, use story time to develop social awareness by asking your child how they would feel if they were in a similar situation as the characters in the story. For relationship skills, develop your child's ability to resolve a conflict by asking questions about the situation instead of giving advice. For example, try asking, "What do you think your friend was feeling when that happened?" Or, "How can you work to make things right?" And finally, for responsible decision-making, talk to your child about consequences by asking questions like, "What might happen if you choose not to wear your coat if it's cold outside?" Or, "How might your friend feel if you choose to cancel your plans to get together?"
Social emotional learning helps us because it brings us all together.
Social emotional learning is a journey we're all on until the day we die. We're all striving to be the best person we can be.
My hopes and dreams are that my students just are able to fulfill their full potential in life.
We need every child to be ready to take on whatever the world brings them. And social emotional learning and the strategies that teachers use to garner that will enable our children to get there. I just want them to be ready for the world and take it on and take it by storm.
For more information on social and emotional learning, go to CASEL.org.
Okay, so as you can see, social and emotional learning impacts just about every aspect of our and our children's lives. And in order for our children to lead productive lives, it's imperative that they have the skills to understand self-awareness, their emotions, as well as the place in their place in this world in which they interact with. Teri, did you want to add anything else as it relates to the video? I think you're muted.
I'm sorry. I love the video. Strong and resilient children begin with strong and resilient communities. And so this is work that all of us can do together. We are truly better together, and I look forward to sharing more of all the great things that are happening in Delaware Department of Education, as well as our schools around social and emotional learning.
Yes, the series will take place starting next Thursday, September 10th, through October 8th, and it will be on each Thursday, and will alternate between day and evening, just trying to make sure that it's convenient in terms of availability for families, taking into account families that are home and can access during the day, and then families who are working and are interested in accessing the live sessions. Each session will be recorded. So if you're unfortunately unable to attend a live session, you can listen to the archive recording afterwards. There's also, what's great about this series is there's also going to be opportunity to speak with guest speakers from the community, schools, different organizations, in addition to Teri, that will speak to social and emotional learning as it relates to understanding what SEL is, how you can support social and emotional learning at home and in the community, as well as accessing community resources and supports. We're also going to talk about social and emotional learning and how it relates to your child's goals in the IEP for families who have children with disabilities. And that's an important skill that they'd like to focus on in terms of their child's development. So as you can see, we have a lot of information. We're very excited about this series. We hope you're able to join us as we all learn about SEL together and supporting the whole child at home, school, and community. Thank you.